haven't heard from him in months. Complete silence. And then, suddenly, he's back. A message, a call, maybe just a view that tells you he's been watching from a distance, and now your heart is doing something complicated. Before you respond, before you decide anything at all, you need to understand the only true reasons a man comes back after months of silence. What you're feeling right now is not weakness. It is not a sign that you haven't healed enough or moved far enough forward. But it is your nervous system recognizing a significant emotional attachment, one that was real, one that was deep, and one that never fully closed. Psychology shows us that when a meaningful emotional bond forms between two people, the brain doesn't simply erase it because communication stops. The connection lives in your nervous system. It lives in your memory, in your body, in small, quiet moments when it surfaces without warning. And now that he has reached back out, everything you thought you had quietly set aside is awake again, present, pulsing, full of questions you haven't asked out loud. That is not weakness. That is the biology of real human attachment. And before you make any decision, before you respond, before you close the door, before you decide what his return means, you deserve to understand what is actually happening. Not what fear is telling you, not what longing wants it to mean. What the psychology actually reveals. The first reason is perhaps the most humbling truth in all of relationship psychology. When he went silent, when contact stopped, he carried a version of the future in his mind. A version where moving on would be simpler than expected, where the distance would feel like relief, where the silence would eventually transform into something resembling peace. And for a while, he may have believed that. But reality has a way of dismantling the stories we use to justify distance. The life he imagined without you, the ease, the freedom, the something better that must have been waiting, it didn't arrive the way he expected. Psychology calls this the contrast effect. When a person walks away from a meaningful emotional connection, they unconsciously and relentlessly compare every new experience against the emotional baseline of what they had. Every new conversation is measured against the depth of yours. So every new connection is quietly evaluated against the warmth and specific quality of your presence. And when nothing measures up, not quite, not really, the mind begins a slow, reluctant return. Not dramatic, not always conscious, just a quiet, accumulating recognition that what he walked away from wasn't a starting point. It was a standard. He isn't back because something new has failed him. He is back because your presence set an emotional bar that nothing else could clear. The second reason goes deeper than thought, deeper than any conscious choice. Your bond left a neurological imprint on him that months of distance could not erase. And this is not poetry. This is the science of how human connection actually functions inside the brain. When two people form a genuine emotional attachment, the brain responds by releasing a cascade of bonding neurochemicals, oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, that do not simply create pleasant feelings. They literally restructure neural pathways. They wire two people's nervous systems toward each other in ways that feel from the inside, like a pull between home and gravity. And here is what most people never understand. Those neural pathways don't dissolve when contact stops. They remain beneath the surface, quiet, dormant, but fully intact. What reactivates them is rarely dramatic. It is a song that arrives unexpectedly and carries a specific feeling. A place with a particular quality of light, a quiet Tuesday evening with a specific kind of emptiness, a dream he didn't choose to have. Months of silence don't erase what the nervous system has already learned to recognize as significant. They only suspend it. And when it resurfaces, as it always does, the pull back toward you doesn't feel like a rational decision. It feels like something his nervous system already knows. He didn't just think about you occasionally. So his brain kept returning to you in ways that may have surprised even him. The third reason is one of the most quietly devastating truths in all of relationship psychology, and it is the one most men are least able to admit. He has finally seen what losing you actually costs. There is a particular kind of clarity that only comes with real absence, not the absence of conflict or tension, but the absence of you, your specific warmth, the way you listened without judgment, the particular way you saw him, not the version he performed for the world, but the version that was uncertain and honest and real. Men who return after long periods of silence have often spent that time experiencing what psychologists call emotional substitution failure, the slow, painful, accumulating discovery that what a particular person gave you cannot simply be found elsewhere. They tried, perhaps in new connections that started with promise and then quietly flattened. Perhaps in distraction, in movement, in telling themselves daily that they were fine. And then the understanding arrived, sometimes slowly, sometimes in a single overwhelming moment, that what you gave wasn't general. It wasn't interchangeable. It was specific to who you are, to the quality of your presence, to the rarity of what you offered. The grief of understanding too late what something was worth is one of the most powerful emotional forces that exists. That is the weight behind his return. He is not back lightly. He is back carrying the full, humbling awareness of what the silence truly cost him. The fourth reason lives not in what happened between you, but in what didn't. In the conversation that was never finished. In the words that were held back when they should have been spoken. Psychology shows us that unresolved emotional experiences don't fade with time. They accumulate weight. In every relationship that ends without full emotional closure carries what therapists call unfinished emotional business. A residue of feeling that has nowhere to land, no resolution to bring it peace. For him, that unfinished business may live in an apology he never gave, in acknowledgments that stayed lodged in his chest, in a moment where he chose distance instead of truth and has carried the quiet cost of that choice ever since. When a man holds this kind of emotional incompleteness for months, it doesn't dissolve. It intensifies beneath the surface. It surfaces as a persistent, quiet pull that he cannot fully silence. His reaching back out after all this time is his nervous system finally demanding resolution. That need is his to carry. The weight of that unfinished business belongs to him. What happens next, whether you offer resolution or whether you have already found your own peace, belongs entirely to you. And the fifth reason, the one that deserves your most careful, clear-eyed attention, is that he may have genuinely changed. Not every return is strategy. Not every long silence was carelessness. Some men go quiet not because they don't feel deeply, but because they don't yet know what to do with the depth of what they feel. They retreat because real vulnerability frightens them. They go silent because presence demands something they aren't yet ready to offer. And sometimes, not always, but sometimes, the distance does what closeness to a relationship never could. It forces a true reckoning, a confrontation with who you are when you remove the comfort of connection and sit alone with the full weight of your own choices. Psychology tells us that genuine growth rarely happens in warmth and stability. It happens in the uncomfortable, clarifying space of consequence, of loss, of being alone with the truth. If his return feels different in quality, if there is something softer in it, something more accountable, something more present, that is worth your attention, not because you owe him anything, but because you deserve to make your decision from full clarity, from truth, not from old patterns, from your worth, not from your wounds. Here is what you need to hold on to, whatever you decide. His return is not proof that you need him. It is proof that you were worth returning to. And those are not the same thing. They are not even close to the same. You did not become more valuable when that message arrived. You were already this valuable. You were always this valuable. His silence was never a measurement of your worth. It was a measurement of his readiness, his capacity, his fear. Not one moment of that silence was about you being too much, too emotional, too present, too loving, too deep. You were never the problem in this story. Loving someone with your whole heart, without armor, without conditions, without holding back the best of what you are, that was never your mistake. That was your gift. And gifts of that quality are rare in this world. They are the kind of rare that a person only fully understands after spending months living in the absence of it, after trying to replace it and discovering they couldn't, after the contrast became undeniable. You deserve to be chosen, not retrieved, and not returned to because everything else fell short. You deserve someone who looks at who you are and chooses you clearly, consistently, without months of silence in between, without the cost of your peace. Whatever door you open or keep closed, let that decision come from your worth, from the steady, unshakable knowledge that you are someone worth choosing every single day without the silence. If this resonated with something real in you, if you recognized your own story somewhere in these words, please hit that like button and become part of the Psychology Wisdom family. Subscribe so the next insight finds you before you even knew you were searching for it. You are not alone in this, and you never have to be.